Millions and millions of Americans are extremely concerned heading into 2025, simply because of what we have faced over the past year. And according to experts, we are on pace for potentially the biggest strike ever. I want to break down what's going on and why so many are saying the United States is ill prepared for what is coming. Again, this is going to cause millions of people to absolutely panic. I want to explain why and what is coming moving forward. So, before I break all this down, I do ask of one thing. That one thing only takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. The biggest strike ever. That is what we've been hearing. That is what we've been told for the past year, is this is coming. Just look at this. It says, from Amazon warehouse to port strikes, shippers and the Department of Transportation are preparing for an unpredictable 2025. The reason for it is because of strikes. Look at this right here. It says some big worker strikes took place in the United States in 2024, from dock workers to Boeing machinists and Starbucks employees. Thousands went on strike. Just before Christmas, we learned that an Amazon union member or members went on strike. That was about 10,000 people were going on strike. Now, I say this because this is where we're headed. Everybody's looking at safer working conditions. They want better benefits. They want proper 401k contributions. They want better pay. They're all fighting for the same thing. Now, the interesting thing is what they are getting as a result of the strikes. Now, I want to show you this. Okay, look at this right here. It says the port worker strike. This is one strike that has been temporarily suspended. You can see right here, the suspension of the strike and extension of the master contract lasts only until January 15th, 2025. That's a problem. We have a temporary suspension. That's it. Here's the issue. Okay, I want to show you this. It says on October 1st, approximately 47,000 dock workers from the ILA went on strike, affecting 36 ports on the Gulf Coast and East Coast. It says it was the first strike on the East and Gulf Coast since 1977. The strike came about as a result of failed negotiations with the U.S. Maritime Alliance over pay and automation at the ports. This is key. Pay and automation. So what happened here? Well, according to JP Morgan, they said that the strike would cost the U.S. economy roughly $5 billion per day. That's a massive number. That would hurt millions and millions of people. That would hurt the entire U.S. economy. But here's the biggest thing. They're fighting over pay and automation. Remember, just a second ago, I was telling you, people are fighting over better benefits, safer working conditions, 401k contributions, and things like that. There's nothing about automation. Well, that's the big thing, is if these port workers don't stand firm, the big issue is that these ports are going to start using automation, where now robots and AI is going to be moving some of these ships around and opening up gates and offloading the cargo. Right? They're going to be doing all that stuff themselves, where we do not need an actual worker, or like some places and some ports in China, one worker can do the job of about 50. That means 49 people are out of work and one person gets the job. Where the ports are making billions of dollars in additional money, but yet they're not pushing that off onto the workers and actually building and growing the economy. That's where workers say that's where they are standing firm. Now, here's why this is interesting. This strike is going to happen 5 days before President-elect Donald Trump is inaugurated into office. The big thing here is Donald Trump is really big on workers, not so much unions. that's where the unions are likely going to be fighting up against Donald Trump. So if these workers go on strike, Donald Trump could come out, and President Biden could do the same thing if there's strikes now, where he could force people back to work. He could use the power of the federal government to force people back to work. Donald Trump could do this, especially over a port strike. But the thing that would be very interesting is, what is he giving the workers? Because again, he's for the workers. But experts believe we are about to see more strikes moving forward. I want to read some of this to you. It says, supply chain strikes were a major headline of 2024, and labor battles are poised to cause more trade shock in 2025. We're already anticipating we are going to see strikes, and it could be a monthly thing. It says Amazon warehouse workers led by the Teamsters are striking during the holidays, while East Coast and Gulf Coast ports could be brought to a standstill strike in mid-January. It says the Biden administration's Department of Transportation implemented a real-time freight data platform after COVID, Flow, which now tracks 75% of all container imports. It says we're scratching the surface of what can be done here. And goes on to say, of the government work with major retailers and shippers to stay ahead of shipping congestion, which could be set for changes under the Trump administration. Again, a lot of changes could be coming. We don't know exactly what the effect is going to be or how quickly these will be implemented. All we know is that Donald Trump, the Department of Government Efficiency, are looking at ways to bring in more tax revenue, which will likely mean tariffs on Chinese goods, on goods from potentially Europe, Mexico, Canada, right? Every country. No country's immune to this. But at the same time, as we're trying to bring in additional revenue, we're also trying to cut costs. Could this have an effect on our ports? Potentially. There's also a lot of speculation that China has systems in place at our ports. We're using Chinese cranes. Okay, by the way, keep that in mind. These are Chinese cranes. We have Chinese systems. Okay, where the parts, the chips, and things like that coming from China. Where if China wanted to, according to reports, they could shut down our ports. They could shut them down at any time because they have access to it. That's where Congress is now trying to debate whether or not we need to spend more money to simply get rid of this problem and use U.S.-made goods. Well, we're going to find out soon enough. Now, here's the last thing I want to leave you with. It says Amazon and Starbucks strikes. Trump's return puts pressure on unions. It says Trump has given some signs that he might be friendlier to labor during his second term compared to his first term. This is a different economy than we had during Donald Trump's first term. Okay? Keep that in mind. That at the end of Donald Trump's term, he had to fight against COVID. Okay? That was a huge, huge issue. That was also the biggest issue that President Biden had when he stepped in, is he was still dealing with COVID. So we're going to see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you right now is experts believe that the United States is not prepared for what is coming. For additional strikes over pay increases, safer working conditions, right? Paid time off. Some people are even fighting just to have time off just in basic. And the reason why I say this is because many people are told that, yep, you get paid time off. But when they go and request it, they're denied almost immediately. Most people cannot use their time off because they're told, no, we have a labor shortage, so we need you. Well, that shouldn't be the worker's problem. It should be the employer's problem. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But as of today, this is what we know. Experts believe that the biggest strike ever to hit the United States could be coming in 2025. So we'll see what happens moving forward. The one thing I can promise you is I will be here every step of the way, and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.